Good morning. For it is indeed the morning shift. We are live a little bit earlier than normal. I woke up for some odd reason. It's probably because I slept so much the last day or two, just trying to get over the creeping crud that I felt creeping up. I think I've shaken it off. I hope I've shaken it off. I got a trip that I'm taking tomorrow. So I've been trying to make sure I'm well rested and ready to go. We are going to play some Destiny 2 this morning in our Sunday tradition. And after this, I think we're gonna do this for a couple hours, and then we're gonna switch over and play Avatar. Which honestly, guys, I started playing Avatar last week because it's on Game Pass, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. And then Chris and I, because I haven't seen the new movies, and the game has been so fun. I was like, you know what? They've done 2 new movies, so there's a trilogy now. Like, I need to go watch those. So Chris and I watched the first Avatar last night, and I forgot how good of a movie that was. And it holds up. Like, special effects and everything's still like really good, like 16 years later or whatever. And when I come back, we're gonna watch the next 2, and then I can be caught up with the trilogy. But we're gonna play Destiny 2 for a little bit, and then we're gonna go play some Avatar. You watched a movie with my mom last night. Good for you. I did more than watch a movie with your mom last night. But we can't talk about that. But you can catch the feed over on my OF page. Oh! Explore, let's see here. Edge of Fate is what we're working on. We need to investigate the strange-lit capsule at the Altar of Relativity. And I have a huge list of travel prep stuff I gotta get done today and tomorrow. Got some of it done. The Altar of Relativity. Sacred liminal space. Okay. Man, that's so cool looking, that effect. The language of the interface is indecipherable, but the altar appears to be unpowered. It cannot process a Strangelet capsule integration. Ghost is tracing power transfers around the altar site. The source appears to be dark matter conduits, most likely kept away from the Ionian security zone for safety. Ghost believes it is possible to restore power. Really, we have a matter spark thing here? Wonder why. How far away are we going? Perform rite of ignition.
Hello? This is Lodi. Ms. Ray said you received my distress call. Ms. Ray asked that I contact the little Sputnik to work with you both on next steps.
Sputnik?
Is there something I should call you? Apart from Guardians, of course.
This is the Guardian. You can call them Guardian, thank you. I am called Ghost.
Pleasure to be working with you, Mr. Ghost. The Ionians are in less dire straits now, but if anything triggers the singularity, we risk losing the planetoid. Between a black hole on one side and the Archon on the other, the locals had no choice but to seal their settlement. They've been trying to track down that capsule you picked up for ages.
Okay.
Head to the big mechanism at the center of the village. The Ionians call it the Altar of Relativity.
Oh, looks like it's gonna be down and out. What's up, John Coons? Oh, there it is.
Guardian, the trail we followed here to this planetoid is the strongest through that mechanism.
The singularity must be beyond there. Contained, thanks to the Ionians. If Drifter's right, the source of our invitation and the source of the singularity are one and the same. I think the Nine are here. Keep this to yourselves for the moment. Our top priority is stabilizing this planetoid. Unless the Nine plan to interfere, they're not a concern.
Lodi, we're at the altar.
Mr. Ghost, this is Lodi. Excellent. Go ahead and drink the contents.
Drink?
No, that can't be right. You do not want to do that. Just say again, do not drink the dark matter in that container. Pour the contents into the mechanism. Hold on, I was provided a diagram. I am so sorry. Ionian verbs change based on the size and shape of the container. I'm still getting a hang of the
Great.
beverage cutoff. Seems to be somewhere around 2 liters. Anyways,
Almost
the
got
canister
poisoned.
contents need to get poured into the mechanism, and all you need to do is drop it in.
All right, let's go drop it in and see what happens. Oh, that was interesting. Let's say we did something. The Altar of Relativity appears to be a relic of a bygone era, a jump drive converted from a pre-Golden Age technology. It's been damaged and repaired with components that are obviously straining to contain the forces surging within. Ghost remarks that singularity stablers likely aren't an off-the-shelf item. The Ionians have been extremely clever and resourceful in assembling this complex device, despite their relative lack of resources. Still, the altar is relatively unstable. Strange that capsules appear to be the only method of effectively stabilizing the altar, and by extension, the singularity. Ooh, there's 31 steps to this. That's a big old quest line.
Guardian, Mr. Ghost, allow me to introduce you to Dean Rebecca, leader of the Ionians.
Thanks, Sap Spirit. Good morning to you as
Dean
well.
Rebecca. I've never heard the name Dean. It's beautiful.
Well, the Ionians use a sort of academic hierarchy from what I can tell. And wait, you've never heard the title Dean before?
No. Is it an Ionian name?
No, they use it as a mark of high status here. Oh, and so you know, they haven't seen other humans in centuries. Be patient with them. Our presence here is tremendously significant.
Gated. Okay, gather faded ciphers materials to focus into Kepler gear. Okay. Let's go meet the Dean. Hello. Yeah, John, so, like, we just finished up previous expansion was 34 parts, I think. 32 or 34 parts. It took us about 2 months. I only play on Sundays for about 2 hours. So, you know, it took, you know, if you want to look at it that way, it took about between like 18, like around 18, 20 hours. I think if I did the math on that, I would have to go back and check the exact timeline. But it's a chunk, you know. These DLCs are like 20-ish hours of storyline, all single player. You can do it with groups if you want. Like I've had Allie and Lou come in and help with some of the boss fights, but otherwise I think we're up to like, I want to say we're somewhere around 90 hours in this playthrough in total. The early stuff goes quicker, but by the time I've gotten into the more recent content, it's been 15, 20 hours per DLC. Alright, you hear the stranger speak, but you can't understand. At the bottom of her helmet, you see a tear fall to her tunic. You can't understand her, but you know it is the universal language of prayer. She gestures in the distance towards the influx of Vex, and from her intonation you infer a Vex mind threatens her settlement.
Translating what I can, the Dean's honored to encounter the first new humans in centuries. She says the Ionians' deity, the thing they call the holy anomaly, is on the other side of the altar, threatened by the singularity. The capsule we put into the altar stabilizes rings of the lock to keep the singularity contained. It's a collection of dark matter she called a strangelet. You'll need to get through the lock if you want to find out what's on the other side. We'll need your muscle, Guardian.
Sounds good to me. However, before we do that, machine gun 308. .600 magazine 70. What's up? The sky. What is going on over here? These guys are fighting. Chicken shits. What are these things? Oh, I fell. Oh no, I missed. I totally missed. Oh no. Oh, they respawned. Is there like an event here or something? What was that thing? Hello. Harvest is what it says. I don't know what I just did. I fucking fell again. I'm trying to read the screen and figure out what it is that I just did and picked up. Open the director to the Kepler map. New resource. Open the map guide. Navigate to the resources tab to see your new resource. Time Lost Spirit Bloom. Found in the Ionian campus in the Caldera, may be exchanged for valuables and gears at the Altar of Relativity. Oh, so that's a harvestable thing that we can... So I guess I need to grab those as we go through. If I see them. Okay. Am I new to D2? Not new to D2, but new to this expansion. We've been working our way through the content since June or July of last year. On a journey with this character. Okay. We're supposed to do something here. Activate energy pulse. Supposed to deposit motes. Requires completion if nearby encounter. Deposited. Hang on. Where's Vex data? Oh, so we have to go collect these things. Gotcha. So we gotta kill Vex. Requires more knowledge of an unfamiliar language. It's a material used as a currency. Copy that. Yeah, that's kind of slowly figuring that out. Alright, so I have to go... Do I have to have this triggered? Or can I just collect the motes regardless? No, it looks like the motes are going to drop no matter what. forget how many it said I needed. Something like 15, I think. So that's why there's so many Vex up top. I need a few more. They drop multiples. Should be enough. Now what? Just spawn a big baddie. Shit, that's sealed. Shit, where'd you run off to, fucker? Time to reload.
So Lodi, tell me more about how you got here. The more we know, the better chance we can find a solution.
All I know is I woke up here 4 weeks ago in a singed suit. I don't remember how I got here. I know I'm from Earth. I remember my family, but
I don't
not
trust
much
this
else.
dude at all.
That sounds like how a light bearer would wake up. But you don't have a ghost.
No, I'm alive. I mean, you probably know more about this place than I do. But I do remember hearing Guardians have a complicated relationship with memory. Is there any truth to that?
That's a fairly common question. Guardians forget who we were before our first resurrection. We forget in exchange for the light.
Shame.
Yeah, he's
Feels
asking
cruel.
a lot of questions. What do I think of the expansion 2? So far, it's too early for me to actually have an opinion yet, I think, Allie. I'm still trying to get a grasp on the storyline. I could say the one weird thing is like all of the traversal stuff seems mildly annoying. I understand why they have it. Like from a puzzle standpoint, it's cool to have something new, keep things fresh for players. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. It felt has felt gimmicky so far in terms of the traversal. The story is interesting though. I don't trust Lodi at all. But by the way, that is not me critiquing, like, it's not saying it's bad. Some people don't. I'm saying for the people who are listening. And that's not me saying it's bad. It's saying that the traversal stuff feels a little bit gimmicky to me. And by the way, I say that about every game that I've played for many years, or that I'm deep into the expansions of, because when you start playing the game and you get used to playing it a certain way, and then you get to like expansion number 7, expansion number 9, expansion number 12, and they suddenly throw a brand new mechanic in just because. Star Wars: The Republic has done this. Lord of the Rings Online has done this. World of Warcraft has done this. Every long-running game has done this. It always feels a little like gimmicky, if that makes sense. Not, it doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just like you're sort of throwing an extra thing in there just because. And I would always rather companies focus more on just really cool storylines than just having, especially if it's something that's only going to be done in one campaign. So it's like you only use the traversal in one specific 15-hour segment of the game, and then you go on and you play the rest of the game, and it's not anywhere else in the game. It always feels like a waste. I don't know if that's the case with this, with the little ball of light thing. You return with newfound understanding on languages converge. So the world we left behind. The holy anomaly.
Drifter? You brought them my message, capsized. Find my frequency. I'm not Neon.
No way. Orin. Neon. Orin, what happened to you? I thought you were locked in as the Nine's errand runner. You were gone.
Yes, but my memory is a mess. It's all vetiver. Damn it. Rig transponder. You can pinpoint my location.
We can do that in a bit. These I have to learn more language to unlock. Alright, we're going on a bit of a journey, it looks like. So we don't even have access to our ghost here. It's only dark matter interference. Yeah. So that's the thing I'm looking at. Now I gotta figure out how to get over there. Can I make that jump? Can I make that jump? I do not think I can, and I think I was stupid to try to do that. There is no way. No! Yeah, I'm screwed. I just need to fall to my death. I got a cat scratching at my door, too. Let's see where it respawns me. Adam says, love Destiny 2. It's a good game. Alright. She decided she needed to come in. I don't know if she's going to calm down or be spastic. Alright. Oh, what? You can fall through that? Come on now. What the? That ship just, like, cloaking in. Okay. Oh, you fucking kidding me? This has become comical. He got me all nervous shooting at me from over there. Alright. So I guess they're just gonna keep dropping guys until I get over there. Jesus, finally. Fucking A, man. Requires undiscovered technology.
The hell, Oren? Why do you sound like you ate a dream journal?
Petrichor, damn it! I am not adjusting to linear time well. I am no longer emissary. I quit.
You quit?
No, I have no desire to play around with weapons, and I'm literally just here for the story. I don't give two shits about the, like, synergies and all that stuff. I have been asked that question so many times, like, why aren't you changing weapons? Why are you only ever... Because I like these weapons, and I don't really like that. I've never... I mean, maybe at some point after I've finished the story, I'll care enough about it to try to do different weapons, but I can't be bothered with it right now, because it's like, I'm just immersed in working my way through. I have a good scout rifle, I have a good automatic rifle, and a good machine gun, and I'm pretty happy with that. Is this it right here?
Thought you'd ascended or something. Become a higher being. I didn't know you could quit being emissary.
Me either. But with the right motivation, anything is Starlight. You'd be proud. I'm malted.
Oh, I have to know what you mean by malted.
Exactly what it sounds like. I wanted my body back. I wanted my will back.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, Dribrom, but DPS is the last thing on my mind. I'm more than happy to just plug away at my own pace. Listen to the awesome music in the background. Take my time. I don't think there's ever been a game ever where I've cared about DPS other than when I've been needing to, like, raid. like World of Warcraft or stuff like that, and we've been focused on like high-end in-game content, I think that's the only time I've ever given a shit about things like best in slot or maximum DPS or making sure that I've got my block percentage maxed out as the main tank. Alright, I gotta go up this direction. Am I going up here? Now, when I finish the main campaign, and if I'm still having fun and I want to go play like all the current content, like the raids and stuff, I did not mean to do that. I will probably then worry about like synergy and weapons, all that stuff.
We gotta find her. She only just found shoes, for Pete's sake.
Go to your bed.
Got your location, Orin. Never thought I'd hear from you again.
Scrambled eggs. I meant to deliver a message, but
Scrambled
can't remember
eggs, that
what
sounds
it is.
good.
I know the 9 will need a replacement emissary. They will not find one nearby on the X-axis. They will need to search a millennia up and down the Y.
Alright. Acquires undiscovered fallen tech. Blanca, come here, honey. You're supposed to be over here. Why are you not getting in your bed recently? Do not bite me. No, that's my hat. Don't do that. Oh, they're behind glass. Dude, how the fuck am I getting over there? Hello.
My message found you. I'm Orin, once a Guardian, like you. When I last reached out to the Vanguard, I warned you of the Nine's fallibility. The results of that fallibility are in play now, I think. You will fix it. But how isn't clear. Everything I knew is scattered. My will, cleaved from service and rough-hewn clay. It wasn't bloodless, but I know I chose this for a reason. I did. In my memory, when I touch my hand to the moment.
Nice burlap.
I
have loved this thing right here.
Dissonance and another shape buried in noise, assuming my place. I must speak sharpness to the drifter. A tint on knowledge held, but still unknown. I'll need your help hunting down the fate that brought us here.
This weapon here, it's been my main weapon, the Quicksilver
So,
Storm.
Orin,
I love the
you
missile
quit
tracers.
and now you're just here?
Mitosis. Annoying you had to see me like this now. Scrambled eggs in someone else's shoes.
Scrambled eggs sounds
How have you been?
delicious.
Oh, busy. Feet planted on the ground more often than not. Seeing someone new these days.
Oh, what the hell?
Oh, good. Good for you. Can't say the same. I've been too busy corralling my electrons. Who are you seeing?
It's, Eris Morn.
Oh! You have a type, Drifter. I'm happy for you both. Really.
Alright. Dealing with kitty cat stuff. Would you stop? I'm going to put you outside if you can't calm down. You cannot sleep here. That's where all my controllers go. You have a cat bed over here and a pair of shorts. And I don't know why you're just wandering around the room. Being nosy, pushing into everything, scratching everything you can find. What's up? Are you bored? Come on. What is this? Sealed? This game has loading screens? I'm out! Fuck this! What's up, Thandar? God damn it, Blanca. I think I'm gonna have to put her out. She is being obnoxious. Oh yeah, they definitely need playtime. She's been outside in the catio all night in her little, like, she's got a little house that she stays in. So she came in at 2:30 and got to run around the house for an hour and a half. She goes and plays the stuff. And then she started, I fed them all, and then she was sitting here scratching at my door. I'm not sure. I thought she wanted to come in and go to sleep, but she has instead been coming in here and just going all over the place. Problem is, she doesn't get playtime with the other cats because all the other cats want to eat her face off. So she doesn't get the same level of socialization as the other ones. Bacon pasta. I don't know if I need to take out steak, actually. I might need to take out a steak. As you access the interface, it melds with Rosetta, speaking words from an Aeonian into your inner voice. Anomaly blessed, I am Brogine, the Altar's technician, and the one honored to deliver what help we can. We offer in all our findings to aid you, should you see fit. Your impressive drone will receive exceptional data to locate Strangelet capsules. Okay. Okay, now she has the zoomies. I definitely gotta take her out. Visit the Altar of Relativity to begin tracking in the Central Academy. Strangelet, Exiles Accord. So these are two different... Oh my god, these each have lots of steps. Okay. I should probably track these individually, otherwise I'm going to get confused. No, are you... I see what you're about to do. Alright, we'll see if she starts scratching my door again. I put her out in the house so she can run around. The only other cat in the house is Leia, and they will occasionally play together, so we'll see. Alright, I have gotten some new stuff, but I don't know if it's anything I can use. 307, 300. It's not. Okay, let's untrack that because it's going to confuse me to have multiples. Let's just track this one. Let's add a waypoint. And I get to figure out how to get over there. Yeah, I'm starving after watching chat. Like, I need food. Unseal Exiles Accord. Aeonian translation confirmed. All inputs accepted. Exiles Accord now accessible. So, okay, so these are based on like story reasons that put you here. Spaghetti carbonara, Parmesan bacon. Oh my god. Chicken chippies. Oh. I'm hungry. It's 4:45 in the morning. Chris is hours away from waking up, but I tell you what, I may go put some French fries in the air fryer and whip up a quick. I've got boiled eggs. I've got boiled eggs I can have. I've got salad. I don't know what she's cooking today, though, is the problem, and I don't want to go ruin my appetite too early because I know that she'll be cooking something today. I've got a baguette, too, that I bought yesterday, which I was going to use for... I think she said she was going to grill some sausages today. We got some Argentinian sausages. I don't know what she's cooking for brekkie. That's why I don't know yet. That's why I'm trying to, like... What I'm supposed to be doing is doing the... I haven't succeeded every morning because I get hangry. But try to do intermittent fasting and just not eat until like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. But I tell you what, you guys are sitting here killing me with all of this food discussion. I'm sitting here going, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I am starving.
I hear you had a run-in with that Archon fellow. Or his cutouts, anyway. Apparently he's the leader of these exiled Elixni, but nobody's seen him in a long time. Real recluse. The Ionians say he can speak through the mouths of his followers. Like some kind of psychic thing. But that's absurd, right? Have you seen this little ventriloquist?
Yeah, you guys, the game kept talking about scrambled eggs, and I really want some scrambled egg. But I have boiled eggs, so
I'll believe it when I see
I'm probably
it
going to
myself.
just go eat some boiled eggs.
I suggest you do a little bang and burn to draw out their leadership.
Pull the shells off, get some
Once
salt
we know
and pepper.
exactly who we're dealing with, we can do a more realistic threat assessment.
Someone wants to know if this game is based on anime or manga.
I haven't been very deep into the Exiles Accord. They aren't fond of
Both,
visitors.
sweetheart. It's based on both.
This architecture
It's
seems
based
a
on
little out of
whatever
the
you
box.
want it to be based off of.
We've dealt with the Elixni
You could
houses
also go
before,
look at Destiny
but
1,
this does feel different.
the game that came before Destiny 2, and maybe even get an
Lodi,
additional bit
I need to
of
be frank.
background
I
of
don't buy your story.
what it used to be.
Yeah. Well, you don't know the half of it. If I wasn't me, I also wouldn't buy my story.
What do you know about whatever brought you here?
Nothing. I woke up here in a singed suit after the most insane fall of my life.
Yeah, I don't buy Lodi's story either, so I'm glad
It
that...
seems the local Elixni had developed a parallel form of teleportation. They're using dark matter to create portals. If we want to infiltrate their sphere of influence, we'll need that capability. Mr. Drifter says you've got the skills for a smash and grab, so I suggest we go loud. Get us a
He hit
sample
me
of that
with
tech and we'll
something.
be in business.
People dredge it up from the bottoms of their basements where they live in their mom's house. That's exactly why. That's exactly where it comes from, Allie. That's called incel thinking. I only know manga and anime because I fap off to waifu posters, and so everything I look at is filtered through the eyes of manga and anime. I've never touched a real human being before. I've only ever watched an anime titty. Paprika on boiled eggs. I have never tried that. This game is Dragon Age and Mass Effect blend. Alright, we gotta go. Through a tunnel. Why did I get combat music all of a sudden? What the fuck? Are we about to do some sort of like a jump thingy? Paprika is very good on boiled eggs. I'm gonna have to try that this morning. Well, isn't that technically... I take that back. Isn't that what they do for deviled eggs anyway? Am I brain dead? I may be brain dead. Because isn't deviled eggs... Yeah, mayonnaise, mustards, and paprika. Yeah. So I totally have had it with... Dude, maybe I'll make some deviled eggs this morning. Or, better yet, I'll go crack the eggs, have them open, salt, pepper, and paprika, with a little bit of mayonnaise and mustard. And I have bread. I could have an egg sandwich. I could make egg salad with paprika. Paprika! And then have it on white bread. Mmm! Getting ideas. Getting ideas. Yeah, I'm thinking an egg sandwich is probably what I'm going to go for. An egg sandwich with a salad on the side. Why are you immune? Oh, we're getting shielded. Hello? What is this? Some sort of crafting material. Requires completion of a nearby encounter. He's behind a portal. What the fuck do I need to do here? This looks like it might be a puzzle. I love this gun. Big fan. Yeah, I can't go through that, and I need to get to him. That did something. Conductive charge? I don't know what that's used for. Conductive charge. Oh, it's showing me I need to do something up here. Did something. I hear bad guys coming. so. It wants me to... That opened that. Interesting. Daily challenge completed. There's another one. Right. I guess you have to stay in range until it pulls everything out. Have fun with that, boys. Ouch. Suck it up. Did it suck it up? Guess that wasn't enough. Oh, oh, oh. Die, bitch. Still not enough? Not a time to take a drink of coffee, apparently. Oh my god, those guys had explosives. Get away from me. Oh, he's right on top of me. Hate those guys. You know what? Any more? Alright, what do we got in here? What is it for you? Come here, big boy. Come here. Okay. Can I finally touch this thing? No. Still gotta complete something. What do I gotta do over here? Draw power. Alien hand signature. That was weird. Pick up the
This
relocator.
must be the House of Exile's new teleportation tech. It's mounted in an old cannon frame. That's handy.
That's interesting.
Scans show the power cell and space inverter have been tampered with. Those mechanisms have dark matter cores. They'll wear out fast.
Oh, I do have some pickles too.
It
Oh
looks like
man,
this
you just
mobile
gave me an
unit
idea
creates an
too.
entangled link between a jump pad and wherever you're aiming. Just be careful what you pointed at.
Pick up relocator. Oh my god. That thing is so big. That's what she said. What am I supposed to do here? Oh, I hit the... What am I supposed to do with this thing? Stand on this, I'm guessing. No? Yes. So, I got some new materials. That's a shotgun. I don't care about shotguns. I don't trust this dude. Warlock is my preferred class.
Good
That's
work
why I'm
out
playing
there.
the Warlock.
You've got some real moves. Normally, agents that skilled at wet work have checkered past. Makes me wonder how you came to be so dangerous. With expanded access, we can investigate those Elixni in earnest and find the truth about this so-called Archon. I've got some ideas on that. Catch up with me later to get started.
He totally talks like a CIA dude from the 80s or 90s. So that's a mission, which means that's like a dungeon? Yeah. Follow Lodi's lead to a House of Exile power facility and shut down their generators before the Archon's warship finishes its preparations. Okay. No. Once I got the solar subclass, I've had the most fun with this. It's pretty badass. I was void all the way up till I got the solar. Once I hit, once I got solar, I switched over. It's just too much fun to like blow stuff up with the ultimate, because you're just like snapping your fingers and shooting fireballs and snapping your fingers and shooting fireballs and snapping your fingers. It's so awesome. He looks like the Ashes of Creation fella. Man, Thandar, so that's an interesting thing. I actually was reading last night. So that dude, he was awarded a temporary restraining order against the board of directors, who did the hostile takeover. So, they have now been, the restraining order prohibits them from selling anything, essentially. And then the other side, I believe, was also granted a temporary restraining order to make sure that no bank accounts and money. So both sides have filed temporary restraining orders against the other side. Both have been granted the temporary restraining orders against the other side. And it's going to be, dude, it'll be 2 to 3 years minimum. Because if they're going to have to go through the discovery process, it's going to be a long, drawn-out lawsuit. It is not going to be something that's going to be over quickly. And the game is ruined at this point. Like, it doesn't matter what the outcome is at this point. That game is gone. The potential for that game, which, you know, for better or for worse, if you listen to the, like, if you pay attention to what was filed in the documents, and that'll be the thing that comes out in discovery of the whole lawsuit over time. But what was filed in with the initial lawsuit was they had done, man, it's off the top of my head, something like 7 million in, plus they had the Kickstarter, but they'd done something like 7 million in pre-order sales. They had several 100,000 users. They had 400,000 wish lists. And with the early access, they had like a 76% retention rate after 30 days, which is really high for an online game. And assuming that's all true, which this is the thing, people are like, oh, it's just made up. Well, you can't make stuff up when you do a public filing, because you're literally opening yourself up to discovery. So you can't make claims that are false, because if those claims are found out to be false when it goes to trial, the jury will tear you to shreds, or the opposing counsel will tear you to shreds. So I would assume that all of those facts are true, or all of that data that's been presented. I would assume that those are true, that is true data. So assuming that's all true, obviously both parties have their own version of events. And I think that I've heard some messed up shit on both sides of the equation. But I also know from personal experience that what one party perceives as wrongdoing doesn't necessarily mean there was actually wrongdoing, because people's perception of things is often warped by their opinions and their emotional attachment to the case at hand. And that's why it's important when you do any sort of legal matters. obviously, especially in a jury trial, each counsel, each lawyer is attempting to present a story based on their version of facts that will convince a jury one way or the other. And the hardest part about that is it takes a discerning eye to be able to look at the facts as they are presented and try to strip out, because both parties are going to attempt to manipulate using points of view and perception and everything else. It's messed up regardless. It's messed up what happened. But what is interesting is that the latest update is that Sharif has been granted a temporary restraining order, preventing the other party from selling the assets. Because that apparently was what was about to happen, is that they stripped control away from him through, leveraging debt and getting controlling assets of the company, and then switching that over and kicking him out, and then taking control with 51% of the, control of the shares, kicking him out to the curb, and then wanting to take what's left, firing everybody that had been working on the project. And there was an announcement made, I believe, in Discord from one of the new heads that they were going to be farming all of the development out to China in an attempt to get the game across the finish line. And if that is all true, this temporary injunction prevents them from doing that. Basically, both of these temporary restraining orders create an injunction which then says development on the game is at a full stop. There is no active development allowed to proceed from this point forward. And all of the company assets, bank accounts, and everything is frozen in place from this point in time. So this is pre-trial stuff. So it's all going to be frozen in place until such time as both sides get to do discovery against the other side, which means going through text messages, emails, all the paperwork, every single Discord message, every single Slack message that's ever been sent over the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And this is where you bury the other party in discovery, and you see how much money are they willing to spend in discovery before it even gets to the trial phase. And that's why most of these cases, if you follow this kind of stuff, will end up in a settlement at some point down the road, because one party or the other will decide that it's too expensive to proceed. However, at one point there was enough, like the millions of dollars of pre-order sales, 400,000 wish lists, the huge retention rate, that all points to a product that is worth hundreds of millions of dollars on the open market, but that was pre-reputation being completely destroyed. So now that the reputation of Ashes of Creation is destroyed, the value of that IP has now completely been obliterated. And so I don't personally think that it's ever going to go to trial. That's a personal opinion. I'm not a legal expert, but I think that given the fact that the IP has been destroyed, there's nothing of value anymore. Even if let's just assume that it gets settled out of court, it doesn't matter what side is going to get the IP. It doesn't matter which side, because it's already that reputation for that IP is getting completely ruined at this point. So regardless of which party wins and gets the IP, it's now no one's coming back to that. You know what I mean? Like, there might be 5% of your player base who will give a shit, but it's going to be locked as a functioning game for the next however long it takes the lawsuit to go on, because discovery could take 2-3 years before they even get to the point where they're willing to do a settlement discussion. So meanwhile, no development on the game is happening. All the player base has disappeared, and they're going to go off and play other games, and they're not going to come back to that IP regardless of the outcome. So it's ruined at this point. What game are we talking about? Ashes of Creation. So it's interesting to follow along from an outside perspective of just watching the lawsuit unfold, but at this point, it doesn't matter who wins. I don't think it's coming back from that at all. And no company is going to want to buy that because they're going to look at that as a tainted product now and be like, oh, there's so much bad like juju around Ashes of Creation. Like Riot Games may have been willing to pay a couple $100 million for it 4 or 5 years ago, but what is it worth today after the reputation, after the overwhelmingly negative reviews on Steam, after a rushed early access, after all of these things have happened? Ashes of Creation was at one time poised to be this, interesting PvP indie MMO product, and now it's this like train wreck that everyone is looking at going, ooh, and I don't think there's a way back for that, regardless of whether the new entity takes control or whether it reverts back to Stephen Sharif. I don't think Ashes of Creation can come back from that. I think it's toast. But what is going to be interesting is going to be to see all the stuff come out in Discovery, especially because there were so many comments made over the years of how I'm personally financing this thing, and it comes to find out, well, technically yes, but also not. Like, he was personally financing by leveraging debt to get financing, but the problem is that when that debt got called due, he couldn't make the payments, and so the debt collector, the other parties who had the debt against him, came calling and said, well, you owe us money, you can't pay the money, we're going to take control over the assets of the company to recuperate, to recover our losses. That is, that's, that's not a good look. What someone could do is buy the game engine and reskin the game with a different look and call it something else. They could, but I can say this from personal experience, Dribrom. That doesn't necessarily always work. Yeah, that's a hard sell because anybody who was interested in it originally is not going to be interested in the reskin, and trying to come back from that and resell it as something else means there's always going to be something that ties the new product back to the old product, and people are going to look at that and go, do we want to touch that? I don't think we want to touch that. Because Camelot, or not Camelot Unchained, there was a game. Oh man, it was the guy who worked on Star Wars Galaxies. It was like a PvP. Fuck, I can't remember what it was called now. And they were making an engine around it too. And then it got all the way to the finish line, and they were like, "Yeah, we're not going to make enough money off this. It's failed." And they turned around and sold it to a third party who bought it, and they've like tried to revamp it and remarket it, and it's never worked. I wish I could remember the name of it. It was like seasonal PvP. It was the bald dude from Star Wars Galaxies. I gotta go look this up now. It was another Austin, Texas company. Hang on, we're getting sidetracked. It's not Ralph Coster. It was this other dude. Why can I not remember the name of this game? It was like a World of Warcraft looking game. Richard Vogel? Was it Richard Vogel? No. Man, I'm gonna blank on it now. It was another Austin, Texas project where it had some guys who worked on like a bunch of PvP games in the past and Star Wars Galaxies. And I can't believe I can't remember the name of it now, but it was like 3 or 4 years ago. It failed and they could never bring it back. And even though they tried to resell it and everything else, like you just can't. Um, and I'm Highguard? Was it Highguard? No, Highguard was the most recently one. God damn it! Why can't I remember? This is gonna drive me nuts until I can figure it out. I don't remember what it was called, Allie. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to do Google searches and I'm not finding it. It wasn't Raph Koster, and I wish I could remember what it was. And they had also, the other guys had also worked on another really big PvP game that I can't remember the name of right now. This is when it sucks to have played so many games, and I don't play enough PvP games. Anyway, the point I was trying to make was Ashes of Creation is toast. But now that I can't, I'm going to be stuck on this. I got to look this up. We're going to find this out. Yeah, I'm still here. Damn it. Stop asking me. Gordon Walton. I'm pretty sure this is the guy I'm thinking of. Yes, Gordon Walton. This is the guy. What was the game? Crowfall. Crowfall was the name of the game that failed miserably. And they tried to resell it. Yeah, it was a Throne Wars simulator. They took it offline in November of 2022 to like rebrand it and rebuild it. So it sold off. It got sold off and it never came back. So Monumental LLC bought it thinking that they were going to be able to bring it back. And I don't think it has ever recovered from that buyback. I'm going to do a quick Google search. It was taken offline on November 22nd, 2022. And I don't think it has ever come back from that. Yeah, their website is just a landing page. It officially went offline for retooling in November 2022, and as of yet, it has yet to come back. The game's Discord has been wiped. So the idea of a company selling off. Thanks for the sub over on Twitch, Rodfrica. And I am the sexiest man alive. Thank you for recognizing. The idea of a game rebranding, it's just not that easy. I can also say from personal experience, because those of you who have been around, for those of you who've been around for a while, the project that I worked on, the game studio that I founded, and etc., and worked with for 8 years, all that stuff, they rebranded. And it's not that easy to take something after 8 to 10 years of development and then rebrand it. It just doesn't work because everybody's memories are tied into it being a certain thing. And you have to try to find a completely brand new audience when you've rebranded something. And when people go to Google and they find out that it used to be called something else and it was different back then, and people start to dig into things, it's very, very, very difficult to regain the trust of people, to regain a reputation, and to be able to sell a product that has a history of being something else. So, yeah, the Ashes of Creation thing, I don't see how it's ever going to recover. Even if it, regardless of which party takes control over it, it's dead, Jim. But it is going to be fascinating to watch and see how much of the truth comes to light during discovery, because it's a public trial. I would love it if somebody would buy New World. Somebody did offer like $25 or $30 million to buy New World, but I don't think that Amazon would be willing to sell it for that much, because they're going to eke out every penny they can until it goes offline. There's no, I wouldn't say that, Korean Gamer, at all. I would say that, if anything else, people are looking at crowdfunding games as, like, live service crowdfunded games have, without fail, almost every single one of them has crashed and burned and gone up in smoke, whether it's immediately after or just before launch. Most of them have gone up in smoke. Albion Online, I think, is one of the exceptions to the rule. One of the only exceptions to the rule is, I think, it's Albion Online. Shroud of the Avatar, gone. Has like 10 people that play it, and they put, $15 million into that game over the course of years. It's gone up in smoke. Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, I don't think it's ever going to see the light of day. That's 12, 13 years into development. Still hasn't happened. Ashes of Creation, up in smoke because of money snafus. Crowfall, up in smoke, money snafus. The one thing I will say, because I'm not against Star Citizen and what Roberts is doing, I've backed the Kickstarter, and I will play the shit out of Squadron 42 when it happens. But I don't think that anyone is looking at that project as, the great hope. It's just this thing where I think you can look at it and say they've done an admirable job of continuing to raise money. And what they are doing with Star Citizen as a project, the way it has evolved into becoming its own thing and this organic sort of expanding living project, if they can keep that funding going on forever, that's a really interesting case study for, something that hasn't been done before. But it's also just a giant test, right? Until they actually launch a product. Now, one could argue that Star Citizen is already a product because we have full-time content creators making a living streaming that game, and they have been for several years, but it is not a launch product. Now, if they could get Squadron 42 out the door and it's a polished, fun experience, that would definitely make that project a success in the eyes of the industry. But I would not say that everyone's looking at Star Citizen now going, "You're the last hope of the indie." It was never indie to begin with. Like when we say indie, we think, $5 to $15 million. That's indie. $5 to $15 million, a team of 30 to 50 people, maybe a couple hundred contractors. That's indie. Cloud Imperium, like that, they're like they're $1 billion in with hundreds of employees around the globe. That is not an indie project at this point, and it hasn't been for a long time. That is a AAA thing, whatever it is. It's an interesting thing. Soulframe, given the fact that they've already done Warframe, I don't think there's any doubt that that'll eventually come into fruition. Amazon wanted to do a tax write-off? Yeah, it's just a tax write-off for them at this point. All right. I'm going to go make some breakfast, everybody. And then I'm going to come back with another stream in about 15-20 minutes. Probably Avatar. I might change my mind and do Skyrim because we haven't done Skyrim in a couple of weeks, but I don't know. We just watched Avatar last night. And I'm really in the mood, so I think we're going to come back and play Avatar. So I'm going to go make breakfast and eat some food, take a quick break, and we'll be back in, like I said, 15-20 with the next stream. So I'll see everybody then.